Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode of Buck 69 of the Carrying the Culture Show. It's your boy Tamal, like Jamal, but with a T. Got a crazy legend in the building. Super excited about this one. Been wanting this one for a long time, y'all. Strong Island in the building, crustified dibs, dirty draws, all types of shit. Dirty draws with a family now. So one of the dopest MCs I've ever heard in my entire life. I do not say that lightly. Ari the Rugged Man, thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate you for flipping your schedule.
Hey, nah. As soon as you asked me, I said yes because
Yeah.
you're one of the people who like really represent the culture accurately
No,
on
I appreciate
Instagram.
that, man.
So
I
there's
really
so
do.
many. Everybody knows. Everybody's an expert. Nobody knows nothing, and they all.
Uh,
Everybody's got an opinion.
yeah,
Everybody's got a top five that's like the worst rappers of all time on it. Like.
yeah.
When you post things, I'm doing a lot of reposting of yours, putting your stuff in the store, like, oh, this guy,
Yeah,
so
no, we're
yeah.
gonna talk about it, man. I mean, yeah, we from the same era, so I can't wait to get into it. So we're gonna I got a lot to cover. We're gonna jump around a bunch of different topics. I just want to just get your take on, but first we're gonna get into some history. So, um, yo, take us to Little RA, Long Island, Suffolk County RA, like, or I think that's where you're from, right? What part of Long Island are you
Yes, Suffolk County, everywhere in Long Island,
from?
everywhere in Suffolk County. I went to Ward Melville, I went to Comstock, I went to Hopog, I went to three different high schools, and I was in every borough. I was in every town battling. I was in every town rapping. I was in every studio rapping. I was every place in Long Island, where the rappers was at. That's where I was at. So, and in Long Island when I was a kid, that was the hot spot. New York and the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens was all kind of doing it, and then all of a sudden, the Rakims and the Public Enemies and the EPMDs and the JVC Forces and the Bismarckies and the
So many,
you know
man.
the,
So
yeah, yeah.
you don't get the credit. So I mean, what was your experience growing up, man? Like because so I'm from Connecticut, so like
Skinny Boys.
yeah,
Yeah,
Bridgeport. Oh, look
Connecticut.
at you! Oh shit! Nobody shout out the Skinny Boys. So
I thought you was a New Yorker for some reason in my head. I didn't
I
know
mean,
Connecticut.
I spent a lot of time there, and it's only
Yeah,
Metro
yeah,
North. You know what I mean? And they
yeah,
used
yeah.
to take the Port Jeff ferry from Bridgeport
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah.
to Long
Did you
Island.
used to hang
So
out at the bars, the Port Chef? Yeah, bunch of
yeah,
drunk people fighting every night.
yeah, Long Island's interesting. So it's funny because like I talk to people from the boroughs, and they make it seem like New York, like Long Island or CT, Staten Island is like on the motherfucking moon. So I'm curious, like, what was your experience? Like, were you like, what was it like growing? Because I know about Brooklyn, Queens, and stuff. Like, as far as just hearing stories, but like, what was your experience growing up? Were you always back and forth in the city, or were you just like mostly
Well,
doing
yeah,
your
yeah. We would go to the city. Some of my boys would, oh, you go to this barber shop, and not me. I had this, but like, the kids that wanted to slick. What they used to do, half moons and all the
yeah the
one guy had
Gumbies,
a
the
Gumby.
steps,
Sometimes they go to the city barber. They thought they was cool. They get their hair cut in Brooklyn or something.
yeah.
Or where was Doom from? Was he from where's OJ from? Where did OJ and Denise Brown Noel? Where was that again? What was Brent? No, no. What was it called?
Brentwood,
Nah, Brentwood's Long Island. But there
Doom
was
is
wherever Doom is from. Doom, I knew these guys that used to get their hair cut in that area because the 5%ers would be there. That was like in Nassau County. So
oh
they
okay.
used to travel. I forgot what it was called though. It had the same. Where was OJ and Nicole Brown? Where was that again? I'm Googling it right now.
All right, it was going.
Because that's the town. They had the same town name in Long Island. And that's where like some of them hung out. And I think that's where Doom and KMD was from, and
From long,
uh,
yeah, this was a long.
yeah, but I know it was a different coast, but it was the
Okay,
name of the town. I don't know. My brain. You know what happens when you get old? You
bro.
stop.
Hey, who you telling, man? Who you tell? I
You
got
can't
notes.
even remember
I
basic
got notes for
names of.
my notes. It said Brentwood.
Oh, Brent. Nah, so never mind. Just ignore me. My brain's. No, Brentwood, Long Island is that's where
That's where
Noble.
EPMD is from, right?
Yeah, Noble Street. Remember when Biz says, "You remember me from Noble Street,
Yeah,
Chief?" That was Diamond J.
yeah, yeah.
Diamond J had produced, Craig Mack's stuff way before Bad Boy, and Diamond J was EPMD's DJ before Caleb Boss even. and you know, that was the whole crew over there, and Diamond Shell was Biz Markie's little brother, and Capital T, Capital the Crime Lord, he was on Biz's album, and Diamond Shell's album, but that was the little Brentwood posse over there, and obviously EPMD were the ones that really blew from over there. So that's not what I was thinking about. I forgot the you know, Google where Doom's from. That's where the hell was Doom from? Not England. Yeah, I hate.
Where is MF Doom from? In Long Island.
But not England, in Long Island. In Long Island, yeah.
Long Beach.
Yeah, Long Beach. That's
Long
what
Beach.
I was saying. Okay. That
Long
all
Beach.
right, never mind.
Yeah, all right. That's where Snoop.
Delete the whole first 10 minutes of this conversation.
Nah, it's all good.
Keep it up.
Nah, I saw it's all good. So
Long Beach. Yeah. So some of them used to go and get their hair cut in Long Beach with some of the 5%. It was a 5% a barber. And you know, so they thought they was cool. They come back to the neighborhood with their little fancy
we add all the steps, designs, name in the back of the head, everything.
Yeah. It was
so
funny.
all right, so you running, I mean, like, what's it like for you, like running around Long Island as a young pup? I mean, like, what was the aha like? Because you know your history. You talking about
it was the best, because honestly, I was highly respected in the neighborhood. Like, they used to take me from party to party, to street corner, to battle, to be, you know, I was great when I was 13, 14, 15, 16. And all of the professionals used to be, hey, yo, RA, bring RA over, RA. So I used to be up in the spot, and they used to kind of I just used to rap for all of them. And then I started getting my buzz, and then the labels started coming after me when I was 16, 17 years old. And you know, Eric Sermon was trying to sign me, I don't know. It was a good place to be, because we had all the best MCs for a good 2, 3, 4 years, And then in the 90s, we had a couple, but we weren't really we weren't game. Well, Prodigy, that's Long Island too, and Buster was Long Island too, So
De La Soul, right?
Yeah, but De La was the 80s. I mean, they still was doing it in the 90s.
Yeah.
All of them was, but they came. I think Prince Paul, De La Soul, but De La Soul was, I believe, 88. They released
88, magical year, the magical 88. I'm 88.
The greatest year,
the
greatest year in hip hop. But what year was Plug Tuning? Was that 87 or 88? That was 88, right?
88. Yep.
Yeah, Plug Tuning, and then Potholes in My
Lawn and all that. That whole.
And then I think the album dropped 89, or did the album drop 88?
No, so Plug Tuning, I believe, was 87, and the album dropped 88, because that's
what it was. Yeah.
That's part of that fairy tale year.
Yeah, that Plug Tuning record was crazy to me, and then Potholes in My Lawn was crazy to me, man.
Yeah, I mean, they were ahead of the time.
And I didn't know when that was playing, because I think Red Alert was playing that, and when I was playing, I didn't even realize, because I didn't know De La Soul. I didn't know them. I know a lot of the known rappers in the neighborhood, and I didn't know who De La Soul was at the time. This is before, I knew Plug 1, Plug 2 when it came on the radio, that song.
Right.
You know what I used to tape the stuff off the radio and then write the names of who it was on the tape.
Yeah.
And I thought it was Poss and Dove. Poss and Dove, because I think they said it. Maybe they said it in the beginning of Plug Tuning or Potholes in My Lawn, but they said Poss and Dove. So I said, oh, that's a new group, Poss and Dove. And then somebody said, that's Amityville. I said, wait, Poss and Dove is Amityville? They said De La Soul, Amityville. And then they started blowing up like a year or two later. Yeah, they blew up. Yeah.
Yo, what about your background kind of made you? My first interaction with your music was Stanley Cooper, right? And I'm like,
the sound bombing.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Who is this dude? And like a lot of people, I thought I hadn't seen you pre-internet, obviously.
Yeah, they
what you look like or whatever. I didn't see anything. It was so mysterious to me. But for the longest time, I was trying to figure out who the fuck you were and what you looked like.
Yeah,
I went off the grid in like 03, 04. That's when you dropped your debut. So I missed some shit, and then I started seeing Vlad interviews and stuff like that. But like, it was wild. So all I remember in my brain, so I fast forward to like 2013, 2014, was Stanley Cooper. So like,
Mhm.
and then I've seen interviews, like all types of shit. You came and performed in Pittsburgh, was wilding out here. What kind of created? What made you you, if you will, like
Well,
in
well,
terms of all that?
Stanley Kubrick was years later, but and what that was produced by Capital, the crime lord, Capital T, the guy who I told you that was down with Biz and down with all of them, and he's the one that brought. Oh, Charlie Murata was his cousin. I don't
Oh
know if you know.
shit!
Yeah, so Anthony Murata is Cap, and Charlie Murata had the studio that all of us went at, and that was JVC Force, Keith Murray, Das Effects, Redman, EPMD. He mixed your customers, strictly business. He helped produce those records, strictly business, you guys to chill. So that was Charlie's studio. Shout out to Charlie Murata. He's legendary in Long Island. But so Stanley Kubrick was years later, and I was going through the struggle. There was a whole situation, and Cap just started tapping the thing, and I started playing the little sample in there, and I wrote the rhyme and freestyled the second verse and I think the second half of the first verse and just came up. We made that record in like probably 30, 40 minutes,
Wow.
recorded it, made the beat, mixed it, freestyled it, all of that. And then I went to Raucus the next day and they were like, yo, what's that? What's that? I said, me and my man Cap made it last night. They're like, yo, we'll buy it off you. So a record we made in 4 seconds ended up being like on a record that almost sold 500,000 copies. So a lot of people knew that was an introduction to me
That
to a
was
lot of
my
people.
introduction. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I felt that was a lot better than that, but people didn't care. They liked the voice, they liked the feel, the beat. The beat was mad, like bouncy,
That
and
shit was
so people
crazy.
liked it. So sometimes you don't have to go extra, crazy, crazy. You could just have for track bouncy, nobody, get more rowdy to Suffolk
Yeah,
County. You could just have fun with it. And that was one of those records where we just having fun at 3, 4 in the morning. And then, I do that song all these years later, I'll be in like, say, Norway or Spain or whatever the hell country. And they'll be like, Stanley Kubrick. I'm all right, all right, all right. So I'll do that. I still do that today sometimes. So, yeah, it is what it is.
that's the
But
joint, man. And it was funny because then I heard your flow later because that was the first joint I heard, and I hear your flow later. I'm like, yo, it's the same dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's that's the joint that got me hooked, and I was like, man, I gotta figure out who this dude was. But even before that, so like, because then I started doing the knowledge, and I was like, okay, I'm seeing hearing all the interviews about you getting blackballed, this, that, and
And
crazy.
that's all real too. You know how people would just whack and they'd be like, I was blackballed. No, no, no. It's highly documented. I was a
Right,
I
right,
was
right.
I was
But
I was a loose cannon, and
so
it
what
was a
made you a loose cannon, yo? Because some of the stories I've heard about you, like, and then I see you now, I'm like, so I'm just saying, like, this what I was a loose cannon too, to a certain extent. So what contributed
yeah.
to that shit?
Well, you know what it is. I you start getting an ego too, and you still and you're coming from, I don't know. You're a kid and you're wild and you're crazy and
Yeah.
you're wild. I mean, you know what kids are like.
Sometimes that's all there is, I guess.
Yeah, so and I still got a little anxieties in me, and I'm not always normal, but like I'm way more normal than ever. And I think kids kind of get you kind of chill. And yeah, I don't want to self-incriminate. I was so crazy because I
Oh
did
yeah,
this and
yeah.
that and this and that. But like I was a wild young man, and I seen my little brother went through the same thing. He's 10 years younger than me. He was doing the stealing the cars, running people, going crazy, all of this stuff. And my father before me and him, he was a wild young. I think something that runs in my sister. Oh my God, she was. I think something that runs in my family. We go through the wild phase and we get it out of our system. And by the time we become a little older, I see my dad the last 15 years of his life. He was just chilling, calm, and cool and
Yeah.
fun. I remember him from the wild days. So I just think it runs in the
It's
family.
good. I mean, it was good that you could, move through that though. A lot of people don't, man. You know what I'm saying? I got, there's people in my family like they stuck though. Like, you know what I mean? So
Oh, I go back home. I go back sometimes to LI and I see people, they're like 50 years old, still starting fights everywhere they go. And I'm like, yo, you guys, how did? I thought that was because we was 20. No, no, they still like that, like you said,
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Um,
and a lot of our friends, a lot of them are no longer with us. A lot of them are locked up. A lot of them are, and well, we so old. A lot of them that got locked up are out now, and maybe that calmed them down a little bit. But we didn't
right.
have to, or at least I didn't have to go through that. At least. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I was just curious because I mean, it's just like your early. When I listen to your early shit, I'm like, damn, this brother's got two beautiful kids, wife. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, how we reconciling this shit? Like, you
no,
know,
I see. I'm cool with that though, because I'm into art, man. So
right,
like film. I'm into blood, guts, gore, tits. I'm not like I'm not embarrassed by me saying some crazy, insane thing on a record. I like transgressive, wild out, ignorant art. I like that. And I think my kids are smart enough to say, yeah, daddy's an asshole. Daddy's wild. Daddy said some stupid shit. He's still daddy and he's a good man. They're not good, but daddy said that. That's their German accents.
right.
I'm raising my kids in Germany,
It's
so
wild. So we're gonna talk
so when
about.
I imitate them, I act like they have this really deep German. It's not that. It's not like what I just did, but I always make the joke. I make it every time I talk. My son, if he's hearing me right now, he has like a little Schwarzenegger accent. So the
Oh
daddy,
shit, to Drago.
nah,
No, you wild as.
yeah. But
Nah,
my
but that's cool
daughter,
though. You can like you don't have to hide. I mean, you just be yourself, and they know. My daughter knows like I'm a fucking nut, but like she knows I'm a real dude. I love her, so you know what I mean.
yeah, my son sometimes he'll see something on YouTube and he'll be like, "Daddy, there was the video with you and all the girls with the butts," and I'm like, "Oh man, don't watch that one, man." You know. But
Oh shit.
so yeah, yeah, that's daddy. Sometimes,
Yeah. Nah.
that's daddy making movies. If it's for the art, but
Right.
then uh, he'll say a curse word in a song or something. I say, hey, and he's like, if it's for the art, if it's for the art.
Yeah. You're
So,
training them though, so you can't front now. Um. Yo, let's go back to '88, man. Like because again, that was a time, and when we talk,
the
you know,
greatest
December,
year in hip
whatever.
hop history.
It's hard to argue, man. I mean, like,
Yeah.
just frame it for me. Where were you in '88? You're a little older than me, but like, what was your '88 experience? Because
Well,
you're talking high top fade, scoop and scrap. I mean, like the
yeah,
whole.
that's what it was. And my main 88 was the Juice Crew. That was, everything to me, the whole Juice Crew. And Shan was a little earlier than that too, because I mentioned Shan was the first, Down by Law, the first MC Shan album was the first tape that I had memorized as a kid from back to back.
Oh,
It wasn't my first rap tape, but it was the first one that I like memorized every single
wow.
lyric. And then obviously Biz Markie had remember that 12-inch with the
Oh yeah, the business going off. The shit.
well, no, that's the album. That's the album
Yeah,
88. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
That was
this
the
is
same one. Yeah,
before 88. But then 88, you had, Kane album, Biz album, MC Light album, Ultra Magnetic MC's album,
Slick Rick.
Jungle Brothers, Slick Rick. I mean, it's a Public Enemy. It's just like all the greatest rappers of all time were rapping at the same time. Rakim, Kane, Cool G Rap. It was like, it was just it was the year. And then sometimes people bring up like Straight Outta Compton. I'm like, that wasn't even like a top 20 album in 88. What do you mean? So
Yeah, I mean it was heavy hitters
it
in it.
was heavy, heavy,
Heavy
heavy,
hitters.
heavy.
Yo, how'd you link up with Timbo King?
Bo King, I did a tour in Europe and some of the Wu-Tang affiliates were coming on that. And it was me and Timbo, Hellraiser, Killer Priest. And Traj wasn't a War affiliate, but Traj was supposed to maybe be on that. And I'm not sure. I don't think Traj was on that one. Maybe Passport or something, or maybe I don't remember. But yeah, so we had did a tour together. My guess would be '03. But yeah, so that's it. We were touring together. And then say, hey, you want to do this joint? Yeah, you want to do this joint? We just started all doing joints together. So
That's dope. Shout out to him. He was on the show a couple times. I mean, that's a
yeah,
dope combo.
Bo was underrated. He's a super dope lyricist and he has a super dope voice too. And he got a good ear for music too sometimes. And conceptually, he's got good concepts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I like the high ranking shit is my joint. That's my
Yeah,
shit.
like that was a Timbo King concept. He's the
Yeah,
one who said, "Hey, let's do a song where we're doing like rank outs on the
yeah.
playground, like when we was kids, where we used to do mother jokes and rank each other out."
That shit was great. You guys
So
at
we
the
started.
playground. You got the kids in it and shit. That shit was
Yeah,
great. That's a great
yeah.
thing.
Honestly, like I thought I got him in my verse. Like I liked my verse better, but then he had my favorite bar in the song where he said, "Breath like Twilight Zone, doo 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 doo
Oh
doo."
yeah.
I was like, "Oh
I,
yeah, I'm
I,
going
I, the one
straight."
that got me is uh moving like a transvestite must be in your ancestors. That's the
Incest,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He's
He
he's
killed
dope.
that. He killed that. Yeah,
He's
that was
dope.
a
Yo, you still
that
do
was a.
interviews with Vlad?
I haven't done one with him in I don't know how long now. It's been a long time. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what I would say if he invited me back on, and I haven't been invited back on, so I'm not really yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, no.
Vlad, if you watch our interviews too, I don't know, there's something I don't know, maybe he just knew I was smarter than him, so he didn't like that too much. I
You
don't
were on
know.
you were on
Or
quite a bit
maybe I just
though.
wasn't ignorant enough or didn't release enough information. I don't know, but.
You were on a few times with him though, right? A bunch of times.
Yeah, back in the day, but I
Yeah,
haven't been on Vlad in a minute. So
yeah. Well, I saw one of the joints I saw when you were on there that stood out for me was when he brought up Kendrick Lamar and it was like, they said he writes his own shit, and you were like, yeah, so like it's a big fucking deal. Like, he's supposed to write his own
yeah,
shit, and that was the first thing that stood out for me. Like, okay, first prerequisite out of the way, like as an MC, like write your own shit. So, talk a little bit about that, man. Because here's the thing: I was really naive to the fact that a lot of motherfuckers don't write their own shit. Like, and a lot of the best joints of all time were written by other people. That shit fucked me up, man. Because it was like, for me, you're not singing where the voice really matters. This is coming from your heart, and
are
so
you
like
talking about modern rap or classics?
like
Because
about everything. I
because
mean,
some of
like,
a
what you
lot of
mean?
our there's a difference though because there was a lot of classic hip hop that we thought our idols wrote the rhymes, but what it was a different era where record making, like the main thing was if you were going out to rhyme on the stage and you started spitting somebody else's verse, like as it was like part of your routine, and then you would look kind of fake. But when they would all go in the studio together, some of them would be all making a record together, and somebody would write this part. Like Jalil from Houdini wrote, a lot of Ecstasy's rhymes, and Ecstasy was one of my favorite rappers because his voice and he just sounded so great on records. And then years later, Prince Paul had said, "No, Ecstasy was writing that for Jalil was writing that for E." I was like, "Word!" So that was a surprise to me. Um,
That's a
so
hard. That's hard for me, man. Like, that is that. I mean, that's because then I'm like, well, what are they? What is ecstasy doing? And first of all, Houdini's one
well,
of my
well,
favorite groups.
they looked at it like they were making records. See, people didn't. I know now it seems obvious, but when people were rocking stages, it was a different thing. Making records wasn't looked at the be all end all lyrical. That was like making records. It was almost like the fake thing to do. Like you're making records. We're live performers.
Right,
So
right.
when you guys were making records anyway, a lot of the OGs back then kind of
Makes
not a lot of
sense.
them, but some of them.
Yeah.
But then what happens is when the stage show becomes way secondary in the back because now it's only about making records. Like if you're MC, you know, can you beat this rapper on a record? Can you beat this rapper on a record? Who's got the best verse on this? Who's this? Whose song got the craziest verses? All this stuff. So now the competition moved to record. Now the competition is on record. But back in the day, in the early '80s, I don't think it was a competition on record. I think it was more of a competition if like the two crews are doing routines against each other live at a live show. That was a different thing. I think
I get you. No, it makes sense. Before MCing started really to evolve, it makes sense. Where it was more like song making from like our classics from the '70s and early '80s. I mean, like Houdini is. I mean, Houdini's one of the dopest groups all the time to me. But like their style, I mean, is distinctly early '80s. I mean, it's old school. So I mean, I get what you're saying in terms of like they were making songs a bit differently and looking at rap.
Yeah, like look at the late '80s. Like if you go to Symphony, Kane's not writing Cool G Rap's verse, and Cool
Right.
G Rap's not writing Craig G's verse, and this and that. It would start now. It's becoming more competitive. The Locks isn't writing each other's verses, and you know, what was it like? Control. Kendrick wasn't writing the other guy's verse. Whatever.
I
It's a
got you.
different sport now. So now you really look like
Yeah.
if you ain't write your verse now, you're faking this new competition. Not new, it's 35, 40 years old and 50 years old now. But in this side of competition, I sound like a fucking dinosaur right now, everybody. Hello.
We old, man. Like
I'm
that's what
trying
it
to
is.
justify like 1982 when
That's
I was
what it
like
is.
20.
Shit, that's what it is, man. You know what I'm saying?
But like
Like,
MC Shan was writing rhymes for a lot of the Philadelphia rappers, the whole Hilltop crew. There was a lot of that stuff. Shan was writing a lot of their rhymes.
yeah,
So
it's hard for me though,
I
man.
think
Because
Coogee Rap was writing some rhymes for Salt and Pepper, right? And one of my favorite diss records ever was Roxanne Shante, Big Mama. Do you remember that one? Like after her heyday, and she came back and did a diss record to like Latifah and Light and Yo Yo, and it's called Big Mama, and she killed everybody. But I believe Granddaddy IU wrote the verses. So then I was like, ah,
uh, uh, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, Tretch wrote for damn near everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
like so.
But but see, there's another thing now in defense of Roxanne Shante. Roxanne Shante can freestyle and rap live and could battle you to your face and destroy, people. That's what she was able to do.
Right.
So now when she's making records, oh yeah, right, whoever, right? She had people writing for her when making records. But that didn't take away. She didn't need them to destroy somebody in a battle because she would go out there and go off the top of the head and destroy them live on stage. So there's two sides to that. He's like, "Are you defending it all right now?" I'm
Nah,
not.
I mean, you're an artist, yo, and I get it.
I'm
It's
just.
it's. I appreciate perspective, though. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to
That's
hear
what I'm doing.
perspective.
I'm doing it. But I do this thing where I do kind of both sides of certain things, and it's not me both sidesing it. It's just me like looking at like, hey, there's certain things. This is how this was. This is how this
Yeah.
was. Take it how you want to take it.
I mean, have,
So.
have, have you done that for people as far as ghostwriting?
I've ghostwritten for people. I can't say who,
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
but I've never got a rhyme written for
I
me
know
before
everybody
in my
that's
life.
done that has said hell no. So I get it.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. It's like when I had the two kids, and they're 13 months apart, and her family lives 2.5 hours away. My family lives in another country. We had no help. I almost was like, God damn. Now I know why people got ghostwriters. Like, how the hell am I gonna finish them? Like you trying to write a rhyme and this baby's crying, this one's doing that. And I'm like, I'm just trying to write one good rhyme.
That's
Like if I
crazy.
was paid, I was like, maybe I would hop on the phone, write me some songs. No, but then obviously I didn't. And
Yeah.
but
Let's
that
say
was the
that.
one time in my life where it went in my head, like, you know what? If I had somebody to write a few songs for me while I'm wiping his baby's ass, that'd be amazing.
Right. Yo, kids make you. I mean, rethink your whole shit, man. So let's stay there, because like, how is becoming a father, a husband? I mean, like, moved to Germany. How's that all changed you and
Yeah, I
impact you?
started late in the game,
Yeah.
and I thought I wasn't even going to be able to have kids because I was, I had girlfriends and was sloppy with them, careless with them. I never got nobody pregnant, and a lot of tours. I never got anybody pregnant. So So I just figured, my dad had 6 kids, I ain't having none. And then all of a sudden she's like, I'm pregnant. I was like, is it mine? She's like, are you really gonna fucking ask me that? Who the hell was I with? I was,
Yeah,
and my kids both look and act like me. So yeah. And she's a good woman. She would, so,
dope,
but
dope. How
yeah,
long you been out in Germany?
when my daughter was born, uh, 2016, January 7th. So I moved to Germany like a couple weeks before that. So,
Oh, she been out there for a while. How you like it? I mean,
well, to raise kids, it's good, man, because honestly, like the healthcare system for children, and childcare here, like you could drop your kids off 6 months old and go to your job, stuff like that.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
and when she's pregnant, she could have what's called the woman that takes care of you when you're pregnant.
Midwife,
Yeah, midwife.
doula,
So
yeah, doula,
they
midwife.
you get the midwives. You can take off of work. They take care of their people
Oh,
here.
the
So
nanny chick, the nanny. Yeah,
yeah, the midwife and all
yeah,
that, and then yeah, and if the kid gets sick, it's not like you don't got to worry about a $20,000 doctor bill like in America.
yeah.
And honestly, I had the 2 kids, and there was it didn't cost me a nickel. So shout out Germany.
Shout out Germany. How often do you get back to the States?
I'll be back there in January. I'm doing a tour with Atmosphere. You know who Atmosphere
Yeah.
is? Slug, shout out to Slug, and Sage Francis and Atmosphere were putting together a tour, and they hit up me and Cool Keith and said, "Hey, we want this to be kind of like a festival tour. So do you guys want to join?" And Keith said yes. I said yes. So we're going to be doing Atmosphere and Sage Francis, and with me and Ari the Rugged Man and Cool Keith on it as well, and Mr. Dibbs is DJing, and my DJ, shout out DJ Lala, she'll be DJing for me. So yeah, that's the next time I'll be out there for that tour. I think we got a show in Brooklyn. Yeah, but we got 27 dates, I think. And Bullet Brock, he's gonna be helping out too. And my niece Jessie Jane's gonna be selling
Dope,
merch. And
dope.
this merch, this is the kid Sick. He's a rapper. You heard of the kid Sick, real
Nah,
sick?
I've been peeping that hoodie though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's his hoodie. I just yeah, I'm doing a hip hop show. He gave me this hoodie. Let me rap it for him. He's a battle rapper. He's a really dope battle rapper. And he came and opened I did a little Canadian run, and he was doing a few of the opening sets as a recording artist, not a battle rapper. He wanted to do some of his new album and stuff like that, and play to the crowd more than battling you to your face. And he was doing great.
yeah. You kind of I like how you fuck with the younger cats and put them on and stuff. Afro. I mean, that's my man now. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you came out to Pittsburgh and you brought the kid. It's a kid from Vermont. The kid with the long
Oh,
hair.
Jav,
God,
Jav. Yeah,
ate that shit. I was like, yo.
yeah. Jav is a technical. He's special kid. He's really technical. I've been supposed to get a song with him for so long. I owe it to him. In fact, there's a text in my phone like, "Hey, you said you got that verse coming." So I owe Jav a verse, and I will get it done, Jav. I'm also doing a song with Coyote. You know that group, Coyote from the West Coast.
Nah.
They're super dope. Look them up. And I think Locksmith is on the joint with us too. So yeah, yeah.
Coyote. Yeah, Jarvis dope, yo. I started went down the rabbit hole after he did the show here. You guys did the show here. I,
Yeah, he's
but
he's a good technician, and he's a good guy, man. He's a yeah, yeah. Coyote, that's how you say it. The Yotes for short. Yeah, check them out. They're dope.
word.
They got Mexicans from LA, and they're super, hard and dope voices
Nice.
and topical, because this whole ice shit going on. They've been getting a lot of exposure with some of their fuck ice type of joints, which are well deserved. So
Yo, so yeah, like this is hilarious on your page, man. It seems like you have an interesting relationship with your white fans, or at least the white fans on Instagram. They be bugging, and it seems like they. And so, just as an observer on your page, you'll post something, and knowing what I don't know you from a hole in the wall, but it seems like to me you're not a really a conservative or liberal. You're just like it's all fucked up. I mean, it seems like you would have that more of that outlook. But whatever. You'll post something, Trump, ICE, or whatever, and they come at you like crazy, like it's
It
blatant
also has
phenomenon.
it also has to do with I did a lot of podcast stuff. So, I did right-wing podcasts, left-wing
Oh yeah,
podcasts.
that
So
kid, yeah, that Tim.
so a lot of those, weird racist psychopaths, they start following you obsessively. And so anytime you say some anti-Trump stuff, they're like, they cry about it. Anytime you say something, that they don't agree, they cry. They're the little crying ass bitches. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like you can't tell politically if I'm conservative or this or that. But the problem is right now we have like an openly racist administration that are like in your face, openly racist, openly anti-black, openly anti-Muslim, openly anti-brown, and and pro police brutality, pro abuse of the people. So now it's like I don't care if you're conservative or whatever the hell you are. You guys just open your eyes and go like, "Hey, this shit is not right," and you should not be programmed enough to be able to say like, "Hey, this is some effed up ish." I don't know if we could curse or not, but so
Yeah,
and then when you say like blatantly obvious shit that's going on right in front of our faces, they go, "Oh, it's woke, it's woke." It's like, oh, shut up. They're so afraid to be awake. They're so afraid of it. It's crazy, man. So
what prompted you to go on like? Because I did read something about you and some conservative podcast a few years ago. Like, what prompted you to go on those? Like, how did
well, if
that?
somebody, the thing is, if it's a I'm an independent artist. So if somebody says, "Hey, come on our platform," I'll go on your platform. I don't need to agree with you to go on your platform and disagree with you. Like the difference is if you go on people's platform and you're just saying, "Yes, you're right. Trump is a god," it's like, or whatever, or you know, or if you go on the platform, Hillary is the god,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
whatever the
yeah.
hell it is.
Oh, so you just they ask and you just say fuck it and go on. I mean, like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and the thing is, I've always been a free speech advocate my whole life too. So, and I've always been semi-conspiratorial in a lot of ways as well. So a lot of times I go, oh, maybe he's one of us, that kind of thing too.
okay.
And then they realize like, no, he's not like
Yeah,
us.
you throw it for a loop. Like,
Yeah,
yes, okay, I got you.
you know. And I was outspoken against. I was anti-war. I spoke out against Bush. I spoke out against Obama. I spoke out against all of them. So I think also there might have been times if I speak out against Obama, they go, "Oh, he must be that as well." So
Yeah, it's crazy. Like if I post something about anti-Trump or whatever, they're like, "Oh, Biden bootlicker," and I'm like, "I hate that dude too."
yeah,
Like,
like none of us even like Biden. That's the funniest part. Like they're so brainwashed and in the cult that they know it, that they have to go, you must be like me, but for Biden. It's like, no, you idiots. No
right,
one is.
right,
Nobody is. No one is for Biden the way you idiots are for that guy. Nobody. There's not a Biden supporter anywhere near what any of these bootlicking. Yeah, it's crazy,
it's
man.
wild, bro. It is definitely wild. Salute everybody for joining in. We're gonna make sure we get this up. And big shout out to our show sponsor, Diggable Tees, make the illest hip hop t-shirts on the planet. Yo, I want to get your take on a couple things. Sorry, the drumless trend that's happened over the past
I
few
hate
years.
it. Hate it.
I know what clip I'm using.
Hate it. Hate it. Hate it. I mean, if one or two guys wanted to do that for their style, then let them do that for their style. But like, uh, I'll tell you honestly, like even when I love the record, but I think the first one I could remember that really like where it was obvious, because people broke down other ones that did it as well, like supposedly Kane on Another Victory didn't add drums, but it kind of already had like a rhythmic. I got to re-listen to it, but the one that was obvious to me was the Ghostface Killer, Mary J. Blige.
All I got is you. Yeah, yeah.
That
I
was
was
the one that was obvious.
right.
And I'm not gonna lie. And as much as I love the joint, I'm not gonna lie. One time, Flex DJ'd, and he put the Bonita Applebum, what breakbeat is that? The drums from a
Oh, yeah,
Bonita
yeah.
Applebum. And I was like, I like it better. Like even adding them drums to the Ghost classic. I was like, and it actually, one of the first times I remember doing it was there was a song with Hellraiser from Hellraiser's album called Return of the Renaissance.
Okay.
And I don't know if Dev One produced it. I think he did, but I might be wrong. And there was no drums, and it was the horn, and we're rapping over that. And I love my verse. I loved his verse. I thought we both killed it. I was really excited about these verses, and I'm like, we should produce it though. And they're like, nah, that's produced. And it was literally just a sample, and we was rapping over it.
Nah, it's produced.
And but it was before it became a trend where
Yeah.
everybody was taking their drums out. So that caught me extra off guard. I said, let's send it in. I'll go in the studio. We'll play
Yeah.
some drums on it.
Let's add some layers to this bitch. So why don't you
And
like all joke like
well, I guess that, maybe it's my age. I'm from an era of hard drums and bass and big sound and mixes. It's just what I come. I'm also from the age of hooks too. I like choruses. I like chants. I like call and response records. I like records that sound like records and not just somebody rapping on a piece of music and the song's done. That's
yeah,
not my style either. If I got there's a producer named Kick Drum that took some of my verses and was like making beats, and the beats sound really good, and they don't have any choruses. And he's like, yo, you could just put it out like this. The fans will love it. And maybe he's right, but I just like listen to it. I'm like, it doesn't sound like a song to me, man.
yeah.
So maybe he's right. Maybe I should just throw out the no hook songs with his music and me rapping, and maybe y'all will all love it. But I kind of want to make a song out of it, And also the thing is, because I don't put out a lot of content, my songs I think about when I do them live at a concert. That's how I make music. So when I'm at a show, I want that element for somebody to say back to me and boom, boom. And
Yeah, yeah,
well, I want the crowd to scream it, and then I could, perform the song, not just rapping,
yeah,
because I rap the whole tour, 75, 80 minute set. I'm rapping, but I like the call and responses, especially because I tour worldwide, like most of us do. So when you tour worldwide, you want, if say you're in Russia or just name a random place, they're not going to understand every syllable that you're dropping. And if you're spitting some really intricate bar, they'll like the flow and they'll feel it. But now what happens? Interaction with them. And so if you have a song with a nice call and response or a nice package of a song that they're familiar with, it makes a better show, in my opinion. So
no, in fact, that's a really good point, man, in terms of engagement. And for me, I just go back to like I came up going like this. And
yeah,
I need to go. I need my music to make me go like that. When I can just
yeah,
take
the
a picture,
drums.
sitting in the car, four of us, baking that shit out, and we're got something on, and that's got on rec time or one time from boot camp. Like it's different. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I've heard MCs talk because Planet Asia is my man, and he's done that a lot, and he's talked about it a lot, and he does it, and sometimes so a lot of cats have said like they want. They're highlighting the lyrical aspect of the shit, and for me, I just need a complete joint. That's dope if the bars are crazy and stuff, but I need that beat or whatever to. It's got to. I
yeah.
don't know for me. So
Yeah, I feel the same way.
you
I'm
know what I
I'm a
mean?
drum guy, and I think about, like you said, when you're in your car or when you want to get aggressive in your house, you put on some music and you want to just, you know what I mean? You just want to bang your head to it.
Your music's usually
I'm,
upbeat too. The tempo.
yeah, yeah, I like the up tempos too, because that's another thing for live shows as well. In fact, some of my songs that are slower tempo that some people like. Sometimes I perform them at shows because people like the songs, but then there might be a song that's not as popular, but it rocks the house better. So sometimes I'll rock that one instead of maybe the song that somebody might like better because live they'll like this one better. I don't know. It's like DJing. It's like DJing. So you pick the tempo for what the crowd is going to rock to. So
Right, right. All right,
But yeah, that had nothing to do with what you were saying. It's late. It's
you good? Yeah, you good.
I'm just like talking. Yeah. But yeah.
All right. So hopefully this isn't boring.
No, no, you got as much. Like I said, once you got me locked in, you got as much time as you need
I,
me for.
I
I'm not
appreciate
rushing
you.
nobody off. Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I appreciate you. So, all right, agree or disagree? We got a few of these. Agree or disagree? Um, Hip hop is completely dysfunctional, and tell me why. Or
No, I don't. I disagree. You know, I mean, there's so many people that had beautiful, amazing lives off of the culture. You know, I mean, there are it's like a family, you know. So you got your dysfunctional family members. But like I look at Mobb Deep, man, like I came up with them and I see like Gotti's over there having a good time, twins over there having, and they're living like beautiful, cool lives that they would have never had just coming out the Queensbridge projects. And what life would they have had, you know? So I see like, and that's just one out of many stories, you know, where I
yeah,
see
yeah,
people fixing their lives, living good lives. J. Rue lived in Berlin, now he's in Spain and living like a king. It's like Brooklyn kid. It's like, so I see all, they talk about the negatives of it, but I see how positive. And then I see some of my boys that strung out on drugs after, the high of the fame went down. And I see that too. I see the negatives as well. But I've seen a lot of positives and people doing good with their lives off of this stuff. And people who I love making good careers and good lives and making families through hip hop and friends through hip hop. And so I do see, every family has the dysfunctional members that are shooting shit up, ending up in jail, ending up on drugs. Every family has that. But then there's also the love and the community and the support of each other. That does exist. I know we focus on the negative, but there is a lot of it. Like there's people like that are family for life, that we love till we're gone. And a lot of us are gone now.
yeah.
So a
Well,
lot
that's a
of us
good
are
point.
gone.
That's a good point. I appreciate the positive spin on it because usually you're right. I mean, railing on this shit like, oh, this is trash. But so, do you think, as far as music wise, there'll be a renaissance? Like, are we ever going to see are we ever going to see an '88 again?
Well, the thing that was great about 88, it was because it wasn't about the pop culture yet, like 90 came Hammer and Vanilla Ice and like that whole crossover pop thing. But 88, even if you had kind of like a popish thing, 88 still had KRS One and it was more like the people that loved hip hop listened to hip hop and it was about the culture of hip hop and that's what it was. It's hard to explain why 88 was so great. I think because it was the closest. It was before the 90s, all the money came in. That's where it became the billion dollar industry. So in the 80s, you still had marketing, you still had superstars, but it was still close enough to the street and the culture where they were still making the culture and not worrying about how to make, something for everybody. I
Right.
think that's when the culture got watered down. When you want to make sure you're making something for everybody, where in 88, people were making music for hip hop fans and hip hop heads, the
Right.
people who love the culture and they want to make something great for the culture. And that's, you know, I don't know if there'll ever be an 88. I think the only way there would be another 88 is if like hip hop just fell off completely and this kind of new culture came out of that from the streets and from the lack of money and from
Yeah.
and something reemerged that way. But like there's no way to come from this $100 billion industry and having an 88 again. That's not going
Makes
to
sense.
happen.
It's got to
So
almost like it has to completely fall apart first in order to
yeah,
in
for
order to
something
for
new
there,
to
for there to
emerge.
be a
That's
reason
yeah,
to have a renaissance. Because right now everybody's getting the bag or whatever so it's
yeah,
the shift has changed.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yo, I'm completely jumping around here.
Go ahead, jump to
Boxing,
wherever. I'm
boxing. I am frustrated with boxing. I don't watch boxing really anymore.
Celebrities. It's all
Yeah,
celebrity fights
I
and nonsense
became a
and
UFC
steroids.
dude, man. Became an MMA dude,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I just you still, I mean, like, as a, because you're like really into it. So how do you, as a fan, aficionado, like, how do you reconcile what's going on? It drives me nuts, man. It drives me nuts.
Well, I kind of fell off. I watched boxing my entire life, forever. And then when I moved to Germany, boxing doesn't come on till 5 or 6 in the morning here because we're 6 hours later. So I missed every good main event for the last decade, unless
Oh
I'm on
wow.
tour out there. So it's like not everyone, but most of them. I'm like, I'm not waiting up till 4 or 5 in the morning to see that. Maybe I'll catch the YouTube clip that, but I religiously watched every single fight that was on, no matter where I was. If I was on tour, we had to get it on the butt, whatever it was. So I still love the sport, but yeah, I'm not up on it like I used to be, which is whack, because it was one of my loves of life. I boxed as a little kid and grew up on all my idols, the Larry Holmeses and Marvin Haglers and all of those greats.
And some of those fights from the '80s, bro. Like, I mean, I was a kid, but like, Hagler Hers. I mean, some of those names, like
Uh,
R.M. Barkley, Bernard
Bark-
Hopkins, like.
yeah, yeah.
So, okay, so then, like, how do you wrap your head around like the Jake Paul shit, the Netflix shit, like, because that's what
Well,
drives me nuts.
yeah, that's what it is. That's what we're talking about the music as well. It's like when you're trying to, it's about personality and buffoonery, and it's not about Jake Paul is far from even a top 50 boxer, So,
Of course,
but he's the most famous boxer in the planet, and it's similar to hip hop. Like somebody, I don't want to badmouth them, but like a Cardi B, she's not like a top 50 MC or top 100 MC, but she's the most famous one, and she makes good music for what it is, and but back in the day, you had to really be one of the best, and kind of in boxing as well. You had to really be great. And now it's kind of like you could be a YouTuber, and that's what, same with hip hop. You could be a YouTuber. It's all about personalities and stuff.
I mean, so like, do you think like, for instance, like the Jake Paul Tyson joint? I mean, like, are they? I mean, and I'm hearing he's fighting Anthony Joshua. And there's a clause like a take it easy clause. Does that shit happen? Like, is that because as a sports fan, I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. Like,
Well, I don't know. I don't know, but when that much money's involved, anything's possible, like here, secrecy clause and keep it easy on me and blah. That's obviously possible.
that's
And
crazy.
Tyson, Tyson hasn't looked good in 40. When's the last time he looked good? 1990, what? You know what I mean? He was in his prime in 1988.
After the Buster Douglas joint, I mean, it kind of went a
Yeah,
little bit.
Buster was 1990.
Right.
So I'm saying he was in
Yeah.
his prime. He was the youngest heavyweight champion of all time. He was in his prime about 1988, 89. So how many years ago is that?
That's like damn.
So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, and then the last fight he had before the Jake Paul, that was like, official one, not the Roy Jones things, but like he fought Kevin McBride, like this big, white guy
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
barely could fight, and Kevin McBride beat him, and Danny Williams beat him, and all these guys that weren't really top-notch guys were beating him 25 years ago. So when they're like, "Oh, he can kill anyone. Look at him in training." I'm like, "You saw a 2 second clip. The guy, he's been smoking weed. He's been rich. He's not Mike Tyson. That's not the same guy." So when everyone's like, "He's gonna kill Jake Paul," I was like, I don't even know. So if Tyson wasn't paid to pull back, and that was really what Tyson looks like today, a guy that hasn't trained in 30 years, I wouldn't be surprised. But I also wouldn't be surprised if somebody said, "Hey, be easy on each other, and we're gonna make $100 million each." I'm not behind the scenes like that. So,
Yeah.
but none of it, when that much money's at stake, nothing surprised me. Because in real
True.
boxing, they're letting some of these guys get away with the steroid use and enhancements. If there's enough money, they kind of let that guy win this and win that. It's just it is what it is.
What's your evaluation of Floyd as a boxer?
Well, well, Floyd, I've always said, gifted wise, he was like next level gifted. But Floyd's thing, and this is where when I had the debate with him and I was angry, it was like I came from the era where like even it didn't even have to be the 80s. You talk about B-Hop, where B-Hop would look for the hardest challenge or somebody he's supposed to lose to, and fight a guy two weight classes higher than him, and this and that. And that's an era I kind of came from, where people really wanted to prove that they were the best and could beat anybody and beat all the odds. Where Floyd was smarter. Floyd did the highest reward for the least risk, and that's how he got his thing. So he has all these champion names on his belt, but you look at the time in their careers where he fought them and this and that and weight, this, that. So that, when people say Floyd is one of the best of all time, I don't agree with that. I rate the other guys that been through the wars, been through the battles, been through the 100 KOs, all of these guys, Henry Armstrongs and Sugar Ray Robinsons and Haglers, even go to that era. I just rate them higher. Tommy Hearns, I think these guys would have knocked him out, but I don't think he's ever fought a challenge on those levels. But look at him now. He's the richest boxer in the history of time, and he kept the undefeated aura. And he's a much better marketing technical guy than I am. I'm like, fight the best, just fight the best. Fight a guy that's twice your size. Fight them. Why won't you fight them? Where now you look back like, nah. And here's the thing: it's not what I like to see, but years later, you look at all of my heroes and all of the fighters that we loved, and even the ones that didn't get their ass kicked, even Floyd a little bit, but like all of them, after getting punched in the head isn't natural. So even guys that didn't take big beatings, when you talk to them, you could hear something off in their speech, something off in the way their brain works. The majority of them have issues with their brains afterwards. So the fact that a guy like Floyd said, "Hey, I'm gonna make all this money and tell him I'm the greatest of all time and pick my fights the best way possible," he was smarter, you know. So it's not how I prefer it. I prefer my goats to be, like life or death and want to take the challenge and jump in with the sharks in the prime of everybody's, that's what you prefer. But now you get older, you go, hey, somebody, I'm not in the ring with them, I'm not taking the punches to the head. They are. So let them live their life. So
Yeah. No, interesting. Yeah, definitely can't really think of like a huge Floyd fight like I can some of the other legends or when it was like
yeah, the
big
prime,
name.
he didn't really fight them in their
I was
prime
gonna say the
most of the
name,
time.
the card was big, but somebody might have been like 75 or some shit, like you know what I mean. So it was
Yeah.
like,
And the Jake Paul stuff that we're complaining about, you know where that came from. You know who's the king of that, right? That was Floyd. Floyd
God,
did who's the guy that couldn't box? The MMA guy that everyone was like, oh, he could beat Floyd. Conor
Con-
McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
And they were like, people like, he's gonna beat Floyd. He's gonna beat Floyd. And every he's gonna beat Floyd. I'm like, yo, it's a boxing match. And they really sold it to the whole planet. And it's one of the biggest boxing matches in the history of time because it's two famous people. Floyd at the time hadn't knocked anyone out in 10 years. Connor's never had a boxing match in his life, and it literally was, I think, the third or second biggest fight in the history of time. So
Yeah,
that the whole Jake Paul, famous, celebrity boxing thing that's going on. That's Conor McGregor started that with Floyd. It's
yeah,
them, you know.
yeah. That's a good point, man. That's
They
a
they were really people were debating like Connor's. There was people tattooing like if Connor doesn't win, I'm gonna tattoo Floyd's face. And the people tattooed Floyd's face on him is because they got it wrong. They really thought, yeah, I posted it. I was like, look, this dude. But that's how big the fight was, and people really thought they fell for Conor McGregor talking. He's just talking like, of course I'm gonna beat him. And these people are so stupid. I mean, look who's the president. It's because people are stupid. They listen to people's talking.
right, right,
Same
right,
thing
right.
with Conor McGregor. A lot of his cornball fans, like, of course you can beat Floyd. Like, oh, you guys are idiots.
Yeah,
Idiots.
I mean, it's always convenient. When I look at Jake Paul, it's like either dudes who haven't boxed in 20 years or dudes who aren't boxers, and they're washed up MMA dudes or whatever. So I don't know. It's just been hard, man. I try to watch sometimes, but it's like, Jim, like, is this real? Like, I don't even know. So I guess
I
I
mean, he
got.
lost to the first guy that he fought. He fought Tyson Fury's little brother,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
who's not a top guy, and he lost that fight.
He
So
lost.
you know,
Back to
it
the
is
hip
what.
hop, yo.
Yeah,
So Cool G Rap to me is in my top five, top three, top four, somewhere. It changes, but he's one of the best MCs I've ever heard. And I'm like, damn, with a lisp, like this is crazy. Like, so, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's a big influence on
yeah. Lyrically, I think he's probably the greatest that ever lived. Influential lyricist. I think if you put a whole package together, maybe some of the others, because of stage shows and albums, might be able to top G-Rap if you put it all together like that. But I think as far as lyrically and influential lyrically and the multis and all of that stuff that he kind of progressed to a next level, and also for so many decades of being one of the best on the planet. Like he was like every decade he was better than the best of the time for like 3, 4 decades in a row, and that was unheard of. So the longevity and the skill level, I put G-Rap as probably the greatest lyricist ever.
Yeah, he's ridiculous, man. I mean, and still doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He's
still
great, great.
still killing it. Like, I loved you. I
And
don't.
he's a good man. You ever interviewed Cool
I've
G
never
Rap?
met him. I've tried to link up with him, but I haven't met him yet. Yeah, I've heard he's a
He
good
he
dude.
he is. That's who he is. He's like this humble, real, down to earth, awesome person. Like G-Rap. You know how they say don't meet your idols. I in hip hop. I see. Okay, let me bring that up, man. In hip hop,
Because I brought real quick, because I brought it up recently on my page and got skewered. I mean, I was a bit rough about it because of some Most Def shit that I just heard that he did in London and stuff. And I was just like, yo, I said a lot of these so-called legends are assholes, and people kind of came on my neck. But I said I can count on one hand on like a lot of the good people. So I ain't mean to cut you off, but just to add on right there.
I'll be real with you. My idols though, the '88 era, Cool G-Rap, awesome human being. Kane, awesome human being. Chuck D, awesome human being. Rakim, awesome
Uh-huh.
human being. Like I'm sure I could go on, but like all of the greatest from my era, KRS One, awesome. They're just good. Everyone that I met, I can't be like, damn, I wish I didn't meet that dude. It was always like, hell yeah, like I always got to meet my idols and got nothing but you know, good feeling
That's
out of it.
dope.
So
That's really dope because a lot of people don't have. I think it's also different when you're sometimes when you're an artist. I tell people like people have different relationships with people too. I mean, like I've met people and I'm like, man, this person's dope, and somebody else be like, yo, that person's an asshole. So I mean, but I,
well that's something I say too, is sometimes, you don't know when you're seeing the person either. You know what I mean? Because like I always tell this story, but like one time I did show in a festival in Cali, and the show promoters wasn't paying some of us. So I'm over there chasing around, and I was broke that month too. And I was all the way in Cali trying to get my money. And fans went online and was like, yo, I tried to get a picture and he was a dick to me and he walked right past me. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know. I'm like, I'm trying to make sure this guy didn't escape out the way. So maybe I was like, yo, bro, right there, like maybe I did do that. But the person I did it, the people I was doing it to, don't know the situation and
right,
think, yo, he's disrespectful to us. But like, I was just like, yo, trying to chase the money down because I'm screwed if I don't get it.
right.
So it always, so that always comes on my mind when I read them. I was like, damn, I was like, sometimes you ain't even realize it,
That's
but
crazy.
you got other shit going on. So I kind of keep that in mind sometimes if I meet somebody that's like known or something, and maybe they're a little distant or something. You go, hey, maybe you know what I mean. Not
Right.
my idols, like I said, all my idols I was good with, but like sometimes you meet maybe a rapper that got a little bit of a name or something, and
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, you ain't shit to me. Why
Right,
you acting like you're somebody? But
right, right.
sometimes they
Yeah.
do, you know.
That makes sense, man. Good point there. Like when you meet somebody is that's important too, as far as just
Yeah, and that's not just celebrities, that's anybody. Like sometimes somebody's a bit of an asshole, and maybe he just lost his mother, or this person, like, us men, especially men, we're so, we take shit personal. Somebody talk to you or say something the wrong way or this and that. You want to, hey, yo, you got a problem. And as I got older, I realized, like, man, you gotta pick your wars, man. That guy just acted corny or like a dick walking past. All right, let him have that. Keep it walking. You ain't need to fight that war with some nobody you'll ever see in your life. And when you're young, you ain't letting that, yo, you walk back. Yo, what you got something to say?
right.
You get older, you go,
Yeah, that comes with age, man. I mean, and
yeah,
I think it's great that we can say that and that be the truth because some of us grow old and still, like you said, people back in Long Island or whatever fighting same type of shit. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
great. I mean, to have a little bit of maturity, and I think, man, like somebody
yeah.
said to me, it's about self preservation. When you got like you taking care of other people, and it was just me running around. I didn't give a fuck, But when it's like you got like mouths to feed, I got two grandkids, bro. Like so, my shit's
Damn. Yeah,
different.
you started early. I started late. You started early.
Yeah, you started. Like, I'm almost on the. I'm on the way out, bro. Like, yeah. Like my second daughter is. She's about to be. She's a senior. She's going to college this year. My other daughter's 30. So I'm. Yeah. Um,
And how old your grandkids?
my grandkid. My two grandkids are 4, and Moses just turned. He's like 4 months. So
Wow, that's incredible,
so
man.
yeah. So
Incredible.
so yeah,
Blessing.
man. It flies by though. You got two, right?
Yep, yep, yep.
6 and 7.
8 and 9.
Eight
Yo,
and
you
9.
shouldn't have said that, man, because they're at that age. You know what that is? The whole they all do that 6, 7, that
Oh,
annoying ass thing. Have you
I
seen the
don't,
kids do that stupid
I don't
shit?
know. Yeah, I
You
mean
ain't
that's
see that online?
I've seen it, but see, that's where I'm old, and I there's enough fuckery online, bro. Where I'm like, all right, I can't give any energy to this shit.
They do it so much that you just said, "How old your kids? 6 or 7?" I was like, "Oh, they're trying like," because they
What is
do
it?
it to
What does
me.
it mean? What does it mean? I don't know what it means.
It's a long thing. We don't want to waste it. Go look up a YouTube video.
All right.
Everybody watching afterwards. It's like somebody said 6, 7 in a song, and then a basketball player had 6, 7 on his shirt, and they kept playing that part during his shit. And then there was some little white kid that was like 6, 7, and then they memed the hell out of the white kid and made him like a spooky guy, and then all it just German kids, American, the whole fucking world is doing it. It's
We're
just
cooked. Cooked.
the
Yo,
whole world. It don't matter what country, and every kid on the planet is doing
yo,
that
this
junk.
shit is wild. It's
And you just said, like you said, how old your kid? 6 or 7? I was like, 6, 7. It was in my head. I'm like, I'm hearing my kid say it in my ear as you're going to
oh,
say it.
yeah, that's almost as bad as the pause shit, man. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
it's worse.
It's fucking I can't even think of. I even eat a hot dog and fucking eat food and shit. Pause, bro.
That was
Um,
corny. I never did the pause thing. You know that? I
no, no,
never
we,
did
we
it.
didn't do we didn't come up like that, right? I mean, you would say some shit
Pause, pause. I never did pause. I pause. I
in
never even did the
sports.
no homo. I never did that either. Like
Nah, we didn't. We
no
didn't have
homo,
to. I felt
no
like we
homo.
were. Even,
Yeah, yeah. You had to be like no homo.
like I get it, man. You're not like why you even gotta tell me that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yo, how do you look at your career, man? Like if you step outside, take a step back, and you look at your career, start to finish or start to present. How do you look at it? Good, bad, indifferent.
No, I think I did good for myself. A lot of people wanted to do what I did, and I got to make music with everybody I ever wanted to make. Well, most people I want to make music with. I toured the world 5, 8, 10 times over. I've probably done 1,500, 2,000 shows, maybe. I have a slew of cult fans. I direct movies now. I'm happy. I did good. My bills are paid. Uh, you know, and I constantly keep getting booked for decade after decade after decade. I haven't stopped being booked yet, so it's a blessing. It's been a blessing career, and honestly, Um, you know, when I used to, when I seen some of the in the '90s when I was getting in my little trouble and stuff, and I seen some of the other people I knew flying to the top, I would say, "Oh man, my career should be like that," you know, this and that. And then, you know, through the years, I see so many of my idols and so many great lyricists that don't even have the career I have, and I'm doing it, and they're hitting me up and trying to, you know, what can you do for me? Boom, boom. I go, you know what, man, like that dude's a legend. That dude's a legend, and they can't book shows. They can't. They don't have. If they put out a video tomorrow, nobody's watching it. Nobody cares anymore. So, and I'm not saying that it makes me better or worse than them. Neither. But what I'm saying is, it helps me see that my career is a blessing. That I'm blessed to have it because that's not guaranteed to anybody. Not even legends. Not even anybody. A career is not, you know, guaranteed. So I'm doing good. I'm blessed and happy. You know. So
Yeah, no, that's dope, man. I mean, that's dope. I mean, like as far as longevity, it's a hard game now, especially. You know what I mean? You know, it's fucking weird. So, do you have any advice for people? Like, I tell artists, I'm like, man, if you're getting in this for like money, I don't know. Like, I like, what do you have for people trying to sincerely like rap and like just for it because they love it and maybe they pay the bills, but like get in it, stay out of it.
see, it's difficult because right now it's more about it's a lot about the personality. So, you know, if you have that online personality and then you have some music as well, then you could do better. It's like I know so many super lyrically and not even just people I know. Like I'll go on Instagram and just people, you know, where they sponsor their own song or something or whatever, and people's songs will come up on my timeline. I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy, and nobody hears it, you know. So as far as being good at your craft, I could give advice like, hey, practice or all the normal shit, get in the studio, mix your shit, boom, 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 boom. But like as far as how to make a career, a new career in 2025, I don't really have any tips because it's a different game. You know what I mean? Like, and like I said, I see so many great MCs that really are just great, and they're not touring, and not they're not selling, they don't have they might get some likes on one of their videos, but like I really don't know. I don't know. But I know there's a lot of outfits and ways to make the TikToks, and there's all ways that people making money that I don't know about. So,
Right,
you know,
right, right, right.
so yeah, I could just if you sat down with me as a young MC, I could like talk to you about flow and rapping and how to get better and how to, you know, be
Right.
original with your content and as far as you know, your storytelling and how to keep the listener interested with your, you know, I could give those kind of tips. But career wise, I really don't have too many tips for 2025, you know.
I don't either.
Just I think the tip is what everyone's doing is stay on your Instagram, stay on your TikTok, stay on your socials, promote the shit out of yourself every day you can. Post content, videos, music, post. I guess that would be the advice for brand new artists. I'm blessed that I guess they call it a legacy artist, where like, you know, I have decades of kind of people that paid attention to me for all these years. So like they come back and my shows have people at the shows because
Yeah.
of years of stuff that I've done rather than just trying to start right this second with something new. You know, I don't know. But there's people doing it. You know, you know, I'll look on somebody bring up an artist and I'll click on it and it's like they have twice the followers of me, twice the views of me, twice, you know, and they're doing stuff. So those people out there and I never heard of them. So, and they're doing, you know, you look at their tours, like, okay, whoever the F this is, they have a following. They did something. I don't know how,
Yeah.
but they did it. People are doing it. Go look at that's what you should do. Go look at the moves of new artists that are dope lyrically that are doing it now and see what kind of moves they're making that are getting them in the eyes of
Yeah.
some new fans maybe I don't know.
Yeah, man. I think a lot of it, it's so different, man. I'm seeing a lot of people having to pay for shit, right? I mean, pay to get put. I mean, it's just weird, man.
Maybe that's it too. You know,
That's it too.
paying
And
stuff.
and if you look at somebody's, one thing, if you check out an artist, right, and they got like 6 posts and 60,000 followers, I go look at their followers. If it's a bunch of fucking Indian dudes, then I'm like, oh, okay, I see you paid for these motherfuckers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Or yeah, or people, or like naked girls with like 0 followers, or like, they're
Right,
like, oh,
right,
that's a
right,
fake.
right, right, right. So, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
hard, man, because you have to be a marketing guy. You have to be A&R. You got to be tax motherfucker. Financial, all of it. And so it's. I mean,
yeah.
candid. I mean, yeah, it's kind of hard to break into this shit. But the one thing I do tell people though, because a man did it during COVID. My man's you got never heard of this kid. His name's Twistello. He's from Buffalo, and he grimy shit, all grimy shit. But somehow he cultivated a following out in like Wyoming and Montana and Oregon, and worked all during COVID during shows because they didn't lock shit down out there. And he's got like he'll have like a black mask on, ski mask and shit. And he's with people with like cowboy hats and shit, and like that's his following. When they fuck with him, like
Twistello, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was trying to get me to do a tour with him.
it might have been,
This is probably 4 years ago. It might have been right after the COVID era. I
might have
think
been.
I might be mistaken, but I
It's
think Twistello was emailing me about shows,
okay.
or his manager or something. I don't remember,
Huh.
but that
Yeah,
I know the name. I think because of that, but
yeah. He was all throughout COVID. Everybody's at home. He was working the whole time, like doing shows,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and so it pays his bills. More people. It's not like everybody knows who he is, but I mean, he's putting food on the table and he's happy.
Well,
So
that's the thing too. Is I started touring uh before like the lockdowns were like totally done and everywhere, and that's another thing where they was like, "What's he? Is he a red state guy?" It's like, no, I'm a performer. I tour. So, and some people like, do you think, well, if you go on this tour, is this gonna hurt you politically? I'm like, I'm touring. I don't give a fuck if they want me to tour. I'm
that's
going. You know.
good
So,
grief. One more thing before we get out of here is the film shit. I, I I read somewhere that you directed films. You mentioned something about it. It's like horror films and stuff. Is that what you?
yeah, yeah. The new movie is Suicide Disco. We shot it. It looks really good, and we're editing it down right now, trying to get the edit done and trying to get the color correction and the sound design, all of that good stuff. But we're slowly getting it done. It's in post production right now. So,
Word? How long you been doing that for?
well, this one, I wrote, produced, directed, edited, casted. I did it, and Lynn Christensen helped me produce and put it together, and she's my partner. And we did it. We shot it in Norway and Belgium. So we shot the film not long ago, but we should. I've been directing videos and producing and working on film and for a lot of years. But this was my first feature film directorial debut. So
Word,
yeah.
dope. So how's that like? I mean, in 2025, how's something like that get distributed? How's it come out? Like, how do we see?
Well, hopefully we could get a great distributor attached to it. We, put in some festivals and try to make a lot of noise with it. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, like so, like horror based mostly is what you do, right?
It's a horror. It's a shocking little story. It's a wild one.
I'm
It's
sure it is with you.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Dope. What is that the big thing that's coming up next for you? I mean, or you got the tour
Well,
coming?
the tour is going to pay the bills, but I need to finish my album and I need to finish my movie. Those are the two. Yeah. So
Okay, okay. The tour is when January starts. January.
January and February, and then I really need to finish my album and finish my movie. That's the priorities. So
Is that Canada tour or is that?
no, this is USA. It's I think the first. I'm gonna pull it up right now. I think the first show is Tennessee. Let's see. Yeah, Nashville, Tennessee on January 15th. And then we end in Albuquerque, New Mexico on February 21st.
Yo, do
But
you have
in
like a preconceived notion when you go somewhere? Because my brain just calculated you being in Nashville, Tennessee, like you, and I'm like, how's this work? Like, I mean, like, do you? I mean, like, do you have a say in the booking? Do you know? Do you care? Like, or you just be
No,
like,
this tour
rock?
wasn't my tour. This was Atmosphere and Sage Francis's tour,
Okay,
and they put it together and hit up me and Cool Keith after and
okay,
said, "Hey, look, we want to put together this tour and have you be part of it." So we agreed to go on their tour. So they picked it all.
okay.
And usually I never pick it either. Usually if it's my tour, there's like a booking agent or somebody who routes it with promoters and figures it out for me, you know.
You
So
just show up and do your thing, no matter what.
yeah, that's why when I announce the tours, a lot of times people be like, "You always diss my city. Why didn't you come to my city?" I'm like, "Yo, if your city put in an offer, they would have took it. I would have been there. I'm not the booker. I just go where they send me, you know."
Right,
So
right.
yeah,
Yeah. Yo, we about to get out of here, man. I appreciate you answering all my questions, jumping around,
yeah,
talking a bunch of shit. I do. If you're down for it at some point, I've only scratched the surface, but my wife just got home. I gotta run, but I do want to do a part two at some point if we can. This I really appreciate your perspective, man. You seem like a level-headed dude, and so like it's just it's refreshing. So I appreciate you for coming on, though, man. For real.
yeah. Thank you for having me. I'll talk to you real soon, all right?
Absolutely,
And
brother.
send me all the clips or whatever. If I post something on the internet or whatever, you know, I'll help promote it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So everybody, this will be on the YouTube channel, and then when I get a clip out, I'll tag you in and stuff like that. We'll do a thing. So keep doing your thing, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. This has been episode of Buck 69. Ari the Rugged Man, Strong Island, Crustified Dips.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thanks,
All right.
brother.
Peace, peace.
Peace, peace, man.